sugar industry can survive as a state enterprise. Well, let Garwood take over it. You know, let those people think you can. Why do you want it to make it a state enterprise? Why not a private enterprise? You know, let them take it over.
Collectively.
Okay, Sang.
Yeah, greetings on this Sabbath day.
Yes.
Well, for me, crime and murders top the list. If they're not boggling little boys to death, they're beating up old grannies and strangling them to death. We're in a serious state morally. This country, we got to stop talking about just the money and economics. Because right now we got to do it with the morality. The morality of this nation is at stake. And no matter how rich we become, if we behave like barbarians, we are beyond redemption. And right now, there are people in our country behaving worse than barbarians. We got to watch those youths who are Jack Dio's legacy. These killers, these serpents and vipers that were spoken of, because they're not good. And I'm hurt that they killed Granny and Granny niece at Albert and Church Street. When I hear, as a Rasta man, when I hear things like that, I want to go out there and get those guys and hang them high. So I think there needs to be a relook at the death penalty in Guyana. Guyana needs to sign on to the death penalty. We signing off on that.
We want to touch on
death penalties
and crime.
Crime, yes. And here now,
yes.
I see we might lose $80 million from the LCDS fund because of the fact that they submitted some plan with natural gas included. Natural gas is not a renewable energy. We're supposed to be putting up solar farms in the interior and these kinds of things, and wind farms, and access that money that the Norwegians got for us. The PNC 60th anniversary was yesterday, I think it was. The PNC has got to be more firm with its supporters in terms of making sure they keep their word, the people who support them. That's my only problem with the PNC right now. There are people in Linden who want to know why it is that the PNC is not filling up when Linden is supposed to be their stronghold. Jack Dio got in Linden, and these young girls talk of Jack Dio. Jack Dio's a sweet boy,
Propaganda, that's propaganda.
No,
he got supporters there.
He got supporters there.
And then they take the photo of them.
So here what's happening. We want to know why it is that the president doesn't go to Linden or Strong and get hugged up by them same women.
President very, very busy this time.
Hear what?
No, he's very busy, very busy. Yes, busy.
All right, I will accept. But anyway, it's commendable that the PNC has reached 60 years. I'm 63 years old, and you guys are older. When you reach 60 years, you're supposed to be very mature, very wise, and very, very responsible. So I'm saying to the PNC...
So you were invited, eh?
No, they didn't invite me.
Why
I'm an old PNC man, but they didn't invite me. I'm a loose cannon, and I'm a maverick, and I'm a rebel, and I...
All of that you are?
Hey man, I grew up in the PNC, I grew up in the YSM in Berbice and Cape Town. I got a party card, they could show you me party card. But they reject me, and the stone the bills refuse shall become the head cornerstone. Because they rejected me, I started my own party. But it's not that I'm against them. I'm supportive of them. Anyway, here the other thing is. The other thing is that more oil has been found. The fifth discovery. And the question, I'm now become very bemused. We're hearing more oil. But when I look into the future, I can't see some of the wealth coming to me. I'm not feeling comfortable with the way everything is being set up, that I will get something in my lifetime.
You're a Farsi man.
Man. And they're relocating vendors again. They're always moving the vendors in front of Demico House and moving them back, moving them back. They're playing these vendors like a yo-yo.
Look at Reading Oak too.
Royston King and these guys have got to get their act together, because it's one thing to make promises to the small men. It's another thing to keep their promises, and they have not been keeping promises to the small men. And right now I'm saying to y'all, Guyana is on an edge, on a tipping edge. And we need to have President Granger and the opposition leaders sit down as two big men serious about this country's development and movement forward, and work a strategy out to make sure Guyanese get a better life. They've got to stop this infighting. The president has got to name a GCOM chairman pretty fast. Jagdio got to sit down with the president, and they got to work with a plan to move Guyana forward. Otherwise, foreigners come and thieve the country out of us. And the next thing, the hurricane relief. November 4th at Dublin Park, it's going to be a big hurricane relief fundraiser.
Ram, our agenda today is crime, rice, and sugar.
Right. That's very good, very good.
The three agendas.
First of all, I didn't see you at the special congress of the PNC.
I was not
which was
invited.
a very auspicious occasion
Yeah.
for you to be there, because I
Yeah.
saw your photograph
Yes.
in one of those videos that were showing the history of the
That's
PNC.
good. Yes, yes, that's true.
When I saw Minister Jaipal
Yeah,
Sharma
yes.
going to the ministerial
Okay.
section where they
Yes,
had the
yes,
guests,
yes.
special. I was there.
I was not invited.
I was wondering why
No,
you
I
were
was not
going.
invited. I let me see open to the public. I was not invited.
Maybe Mr. Jaipal Sharma got your invitation.
No, no. My did you come to my place where I live? Where I live.
Exactly.
Can't go to
Direct.
Taiwan.
Can't go somewhere else.
Right.
I live by the TV
Well,
station.
we need to find out that.
Oh, yeah.
Because when your name was called there, you know,
Yes.
Justice for All Party, the
yeah.
president did call your name as a
I
member
said I-
of the
I said I was not-
coalition.
I said I was not
So
invited.
I am surprised that you're
That's
not.
right.
Anyway,
yes,
we need to
yes,
find
okay.
out that and
Yeah,
who really,
yeah,
really
yes,
the truth.
That's right.
That
Yeah,
you
okay.
know why you wasn't invited?
Okay, okay then. Okay.
You don't know.
Yes.
Okay. The issues about the
Yes.
rice industry.
Yeah.
You see in today's paper, 5 million US dollars plus Venezuelan
Yeah.
rice deal. Suco investigation stalled as bank holds out on information despite court order.
That's GBTI.
Yes, GBTI.
GBTI.
Yeah.
GBTI. And when the story busts out, because they cannot continue to, it's a contempt of court if a judge gives an order and you don't carry out that order. I wonder
Okay.
that
What's the next step?
the next step
No.
is to take it back to the court,
Okay.
and then they will be they'll be further. Somebody will be in
Okay.
prison.
More
So
penalties.
it was alleged it's a lot of rice in one for near over a year. 2 years.
That rice that you are talking
Yes,
about, because
yes.
we discussed that
That's
off
right.
the program,
Yes.
belongs to a gentleman in Escobar Coast.
Yes.
I don't know if you want me to call his name.
Go ahead and call him.
When I was on the rice board,
Yes,
you
yes.
see, I asked them
Yeah.
to have a negotiated settlement.
Yes.
This man is owed over $400 million.
Yeah.
Because when I was on the board, there was a negotiation for
Yeah.
him to supply
Yes,
the
yes,
rice to
yes.
the GRD.
That's right.
And then to sell the rice.
Yes.
He brought the rice as was agreed, and for some reason, the rice was left on the wharf. Now they are telling him
Yeah.
that he must come and carry back the rice.
When
take
the
back
rice got dumped,
No,
You want to dump your
the
rice?
rice was there
Yeah.
too long
Yes.
on the wharf.
so you got
Mr.
dumped, you got
Sharma,
dumped.
so that somebody will have to pay for that rice. You see, one of the problems
How
we
many
have-
years your rice was on it?
I would say about more than 6 months to a year.
Oh.
The rice was there. And because it was exposed in that condition,
Yeah.
I'm sure it will spoil.
Okay.
So not only that the farmers
Yeah,
who
yeah,
he
yeah.
bought the rice are losing,
Yes.
he himself
Yeah.
plus the economy of this
Yeah,
country.
yes.
And that shows
Yeah.
total negligence on those who are,
Yes, yes,
who are
yes.
currently in control of the rice
Yeah,
board.
yeah,
Those are some of the reasons, Mr. Sharma, that they took me off the board,
Oh.
because they don't want people on that rice board who are vocal. It was me who brought out a number of things that were going on in the past. This investigation that was carried out by
Yeah,
the government
yeah.
brought a number of things that Guyanese, even the farmers, were shocked how they were treated. Because they got $9,000 per bag
Yes.
in this Venezuela deal.
Yeah.
And I have to correct some of these people who are writing nonsense about that it was this government that lost the contract, the Venezuelan contract. In fact, the contract was terminated in November
Yeah.
2014,
Yeah.
which caused the rice
Yeah.
farmers who were getting the highest price
Yeah.
that we ever had in this country, $9,000 per bag. But the farmers were getting only $3,000 per bag. The big question is, what did they do with the $6,000 per bag? What did they do with the rest of the money? And that is what is under investigation.
Okay. All right.
The report, for your information,
Okay.
has
Yes,
not been
yes,
made public.
yes, yes.
Has not been made
Yes,
public
yes,
because
yes.
Suco said
Yes,
that
yes.
there's more than 100
Yes.
cases that they're investigating on this report.
Yeah.
Now the sugar.
Yeah.
This morning, I went to Wales Estate,
Yeah. What you saw?
and I saw the cane farmers could not pull out their cane from the dam because it's not an all-weather dam. So what are they supposed to do? When they get the trailer out there, they have to take it to Eiffel Estate, because you know currently Wales Estate, the factory, is closed. So we have a serious crisis, and the Minister of Agriculture and the Minister and the Prime Minister are not there to solve this problem. We have a lot of confusion going on. You said earlier, Mr. Sankis, about privatizing the sugar industry. Mr. Sankis, with great respect, we have got to give, when you look at the sacrifices that this gentleman made in trying to highlight the issues of the Wales estate and the sugar workers, to the point where he keeps showing it over and over. We see it over and over on this station, how he was badly treated by the last PPP government, how he was beaten by the police, how PPP thugs physically hit him. And now the GAU and the PPP have taken themselves out of this whole situation, and the farmers, the cane farmers and the sugar workers are left on the street.
But sugar workers are not turning up to work, they said too.
But yet still, we're going to find money to give to them, to bail them out.
The
That's
point
wrong.
the point is,
stop bailing out
we cannot, Mr. Sharma, with the sacrifice that you have made to highlight the issues and fighting for the rights of these sugar workers over the last 10 to 15 years or more. The time has come where we, as you said, Mr. Sankey, you made a very important statement. You don't know how important it is. Or Leon said it. Where the opposition, the official opposition leader, who says he cares for sugar workers, need to bring to the table officially this government, the leader of the president of this government, to sit and discuss the future of the sugar industry in a very serious way. Because you are dealing with the life of sugar workers and their families and their children. This is what is at stake. And these are poor people who have been misled, mistreated, and politically misused. And we got to stop this nonsense. We have to bring it to the point where what you were saying all the time, the question of ownership. The sugar workers, as I've been saying over and over again, and that's why I went this morning to Wales and went into those cane farmers' place there to see what the conditions, so I can report it here to the station. That they are in a terrible situation and nobody's looking.
Where's the terrible, what do you mean by that?
Well, they can't, look. They want they've closed Wales. We were protesting against the closure of Wales. We went down there. You were there. Paul Sharma, the minister, was down there several times with me. We went there with Dr. Durga. We had an alternative, a very clear alternative, that you do not need to close down the Wales factory.
What is the position?
They are alternatives.
What is the position with Durga?
Well, Mrs. Durga is still around battling with own battles.
Oh, there's a lot of fighting for hemp. There were a lot of articles.
We'll come to that just now. But let me discuss the sugar thing. Because the hemp could be used to actually plant some of those lands there that are under sugar. This issue, Mr. Sharma, has to be given priority. And it has to be discussed in a very serious way. Because if we do not solve the problems of Wales, we can't solve the problems of Skeldon, because the AFC is calling for privatization. And Mr. Sankis, please be careful, because that is not the policy of the Justice for All Party. Justice for All Party, as I understand it in their manifesto, they want ownership. The workers must have ownership of the means of production, or part ownership even. So we need to be able to discuss.
It sounds very socialist.
It is not. But we're talking for justice for all.
That's a socialist kind of concept, justice for all.
Justice for all is a socialist concept. It's for making the poor man, who are the majority of this country, 90% of the people of this country, you can regard them as working people.
And there's nothing wrong with
The 10
pursuing.
the 10%.
There's nothing wrong with pursuing socialist policies if it's blended with an approach to
is the champion
democratic centralism.
of the workers. You've been seeing.
But
He got more licks, more than anyone the Gawu boy. Jagan himself never got one lick. He never lick. Border level lick him for the sugar workers.
But Gawu can take over the sugar industry and run it?
Gawu cannot run nothing. Gawu is incapable of running the union. And Jagdeo is incapable of running the economy. Look at what's happened to, it's on the wall. Look what has happened to Skelland. Look, this government had made a serious mistake in closing down Wales. I've said it many, many times. There are alternatives. Even if you had given the factory to a private owner, he would have managed it, and we would have found ways of actually continuing the manufacturing of sugar. Look,
but the decision already been made. We can't turn back the clock.
I cannot disclose this now, but at a later stage. There is an expert in the country that is talking about Wales and how do we revive it. Now, Mr. Sharma, we do not need, one of the issues that we need to discuss is that we do not need to manufacture crystal sugar, meaning that you don't have to, the sugar you buy in the shop. The sugar could be, you could have what's called liquid.
That man said that who died.
Mr. Saw also said molasses. He should increase the price of molasses because the rum companies are making big money.
Yes. So what the point I'm making is that there has to be a holistic approach to the sugar industry. So if you are going to diversify and plant other crops, you have to do it in a systematic way so that the workers do not lose their job, and the workers should have lands so that they can be part of the industry. We can have what is called a tripartite ownership. Government own 1/3, the workers own 1/3, and you can have a consortium of private people. You understand what I mean?
Education, very, very important. Education.
Yes, see, and we definitely have to do more. Basic things that the people go through our educational system, go out, and they still can't read and write properly. They can't spell properly. It's amazing. And also, our education has to be geared to life. Because after you finish going to school, the school of life, you should be geared towards the school of life, education. How to handle problems and difficulties in life.
Let me talk about crime. What is the situation with crime?
It is out of bounds.
Well,
look what happened. So many people are unemployed. Roraima laid off 40 employees recently following the closure of Dynamic Airways. What is going on? We're not creating jobs. We need to create jobs.
As much management,
Crime. If we had a national service...
Just give you a chance, right, please?
All right.
Good.
Yeah, we need to create jobs, right? We don't have that, but in terms of crime and punishment, we have to have a different approach because too many people have been jailed for possession of a small piece of marijuana. Look at the missionary the other day. A guy who came from outside, a white guy. He was caught with something. He pleaded guilty first, then he had to change, but he still want to. So we have to look at these things. Too many people, the jails are congested. I don't know how they give the prison director an award. I don't know what he's been awarded to do. He was invested. He went and attended this thing that they had, the ceremony. Gladwin Summers, and he'd been given an award for what?
Incompetence.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe all the people are not being
because.
There's something wrong there. There's something wrong. Yes.
Leon. What a crime situation.
Crime. Preventative and curative.
Yes.
Right now we're into curative, but we ought to have been into something called preventative. Now, national service or some aspect of it's got to be reintroduced because those young people who are running amok, and when you really watch the analysis, a lot of young people are committing these crimes. They don't have love or God in the system, and that's why they're being so dastardly. Long ago, old time thief man would tell you that a good thief man was go in, take a thing and leave your house without disturbing your rest. Now they're going to kill you.
Exactly.
That is a serious something. So crime. Mr. Ramjatan doesn't have a clue as to how to go about dealing with urban crime, much
How
as
you know? How you know that?
He's at a loss. Listen to the comments he's making.
He has no policy.
He's bereft, he's baffled because he doesn't have a policy, but more than that, he doesn't have an operational strategy to put within the policy to direct his forces. And the police force is demoralized to the point where the criminals know that the police force is a little bit ineffective and inept and bungling and fighting within their ranks, and they're having a good time. Now, so what are we going to do?
You're having a good time.
The public security program,
yes.
we got to really tighten up on that.
Yeah.
The strategic security project that the English people are funding. But more than that, we got to raise the salaries of policemen so we have a better quality police officer going into the force who can use their head and use something called preemptive methods and community-oriented policing so that they can blend with the community, not be seen as oppressors, but really service providers and protectors. When you do that, the people work with you, and they give you heads up as to what's brewing and what's coming up. Right now, it's us against them because we don't trust the police. And there it is, crime. The police is responsible for half of the crime being committed. When they come out of uniform, those little boys, they go and commit a crime. This is why when they call a police station, they can't get them because they are the ones now returning to base. The point is, the police are not, the police are not saints, and the reason why you have a police force is to contain crime. If crime is out of control, it means that the police are out of control. It's beyond them. So what? You change the Minister of Public Security, whether he's a partner in government or not, he's not competent enough to deal with the situation, and we need to deal with a different form of policing.
Yes.
Yeah,
right now we have adversarial policing, and we don't need adversarial policing. We need community-oriented policing.
Okay, thank you.
What he is saying is salary by itself does not guarantee you're going to improve the quality of the police force. You have to have proper recruitment and selection processes in place. You know, that by itself.
Sanke says, I'll flow you now. Wait, give the oil.
Well, there's no doubt that there's a lot of oil out there, but we have to be cognizant of the fact that look what's happening to Trinidad. Trinidad is putting taxes on the people, and all over they're floundering because they're just dependent on that one commodity, oil and natural gas and so on. What is happening? We need to promote agriculture and diversify our economy too. We need.
Rahman is a rice man. Wait, what is the rice industry now?
Well, I just talked a lot about the rice. Look, you would know, right, that the government has not implemented their policy on rice. And I have said it 100 times and repeat it again, every time, so it can drum into people's ear. You cannot promote agriculture, which is the mainstay of this country. More than 60% of people dependent on agriculture. And if you want to promote agriculture, if you want to stop the unemployment of young people, who are, by the way, coming from the agricultural school, they train agriculturists, but they don't have lands to cultivate. There is no holistic approach to giving them lands, to give them loans. The agricultural bank, you think Barnum was a stupid man, he set up the agriculture and industrial bank. The first thing the PPP did when they came to office in 1992, through the IMF and World Bank, instructed them to close down the agricultural bank. You cannot, under no circumstances, encourage people to do agriculture or agro-industry unless you give them lands, you give them the tools, you give them finance. Those three things will make them go and work. In today's world where you don't need to use a cutlass or a shovel or a fork, right? You have to induce the young people to get involved in agriculture. Give them the lands, let them form co-ops and get a market for the things that they are producing. And then we'll have them off the street, we'll get them occupied.
What do you think about the bank rate, the interest rate?
The bank rate is high, that's what I'm telling you. 28%.
Not 20,
20% interest. And this same GBTI that is involved in the rice industry that is being investigated, they are the ones who say very clearly in the face to the farmers that they're not going to lend you no money. All right?
What
so what are we expected to do?
What do you build society?
In new building society
How much rent rate did they get?
the new building society
Yeah.
needs to be investigated,
How you?
thoroughly investigated.
Yes.
They're going to pay
Because
Arjun and Vincent.
yes, because those fellas.
Please relax.
No.
Give everyone a juice. Yes.
Those
go ahead.
fellas.
Yes. Yes.
It's a shame and disgrace
Yes.
that Mr. Nagamutu, who had some hand in representing these fellas, is Prime Minister of this country, Prime Minister of this country, and cannot see that these people get justice.
Justice.
Get justice. The courts have declared justice.
Okay.
The New Building Society that has membership, I'm a member of the New Building Society, and those people who borrow money from them, we have absolutely no say in the running of that organization. You know why?
Yes.
Because Jaguar, when they borrowed the money to build that Berbice Bridge, right, they took the money arbitrarily from the bank, $2 billion, and they spend it in that Berbice Bridge.
And that a lot of building going to sell because the building safety, they can't pay the loan.
And then, yes.
Of course, and then,
Yeah,
then
that's all,
you know
yeah.
what happened, Mr. Sharma?
Yes.
My increase in payment
Yes.
went up by 20%. So rather than paying 80-something percent, $1,000, I'm paying $110,000. Sometimes $120,000.
It is not fair. You think it's not fair?
It's more than unfair,
Okay.
and we here are
Unfair.
talking. We are talking here about justice.
Yeah.
We are talking here for justice. And
Yeah. Justice for all.
let me precise. No,
Yes.
it's justice for the majority.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you got to change that word for all.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, then you'll be including the exploiters, those who control MBS.
Okay.
So you're not justice for those kind of people. Because they're the ones who exploited you and oppressed you.
It's judgment
and you
on
have
them.
to be, you
Yeah.
have to be careful how
We're
you're
getting
saying
some
it.
calls.
Okay.
I want to say one last thing
Yeah.
about this crime thing.
Yeah.
You see, you were involved in the prevention of crime, and you should really. I mean, I know you can't express it properly, but
Yeah.
I will.
I was the chairman of the policing group.
As I know that you were
Yes.
chairman of the
Yeah,
policing
yes,
group.
yes.
Look, I went to Mr. And I have to call him his name because he's the minister responsible for this area.
Yeah.
I went to his office, had a long discussion with him on the question of security, and I told him that we need to reintroduce this police and policing.
Yes.
You know, when I was in England, it was there where these things came from, you know, and I was involved in the community policing group. I used to sit on the committee with the commander in the area used to, just like what you used to do.
That's right.
And you didn't have crime because the moment you see anybody do anything, you can phone a certain number. We want a hotline.
911 is not
It
even
doesn't
working.
work. These things don't work. So do you see there is no correlation between the Minister of Communication, right, for the telephones to work properly, and the Minister of Public Security.
Let me take some calls on here, please.
There's no correlation between them.
Call, Gunny, you here? Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Gentlemen.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Yes.
Hi, Mr. Sharma.
Yes. Good
A couple of things.
Yeah.
Where crime and security is concerned,
Yeah.
the minister needs to change.
Yeah.
This man would be saying things that I don't know a school child can comprehend. You know, he don't know things bad, the police force was bad this month. The amount of crime happening within the police force, like Val said, and out of the police force, a little boy's gonna kill two big women. More than Barbies.
Yeah,
This
that's right.
happening.
Yes.
They find somebody born thing. Look,
Born
the
a
cop-
person, yes.
Police force weak
Yes.
right now, and it's gonna get weaker because.
What do you think the solution to the problem? What do you think is the solution to the problem? No.
Change the minister. Change the minister. Let's get a serious minister. Let Granger wear big boy, Mr. Granger wear big boy part, and do something.
What about
Look,
Felix?
We need to start hanging or doing something. Another thing.
Yes.
A man stole a man bought for $3 million. The man's paid pretty for $100,000 deal. He might as well go and thief another one. And another one. Because all you do is go up 100,000, you're selling about 400,000 or 500,000, you're gone again. Those are things that were serious crime. A man smoking a little marijuana, That's okay. Let him go and do community work.
Okay.
But when you see men who stealing,
Yes.
and they graduating every day,
Yes.
from one thing they graduate to another one, because you know what? I could steal in the bus today and pay $100,000 bill. I come out, if I want to go back and answer the charge, I go and answer the charge, and then I graduate to something else. I start stealing. Russell said the right thing. National service, and like I said earlier on your program twice,
Yes.
a lot of youths want career. When they come out of high school and they doesn't be too successful, you got slow learners, you got fast learners. Get these men, even if they go in the police force or in the army or in the national service, let them learn a trade instead of having, and I said to you before, you need to take a walk on the railway line and see how the army vehicle line up. You need to pass through all them mechanic shop until the police vehicle are parking all over the place.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's
why these men can't employ skill like you got people who go to the technical institute and them things. You got qualified AC man, you got qualified electrician, you got qualified mechanic. Get them into the police force or in the army and then let them train people. And you are going to be attractive to that because some people don't like the desk job, the police job, or running around. But if they're trained to be mechanic, AC technician, or whatever, on the same vehicle instead of contracting it out, pay the big boys, pay the mechanic, and somebody gets back to do this. Right? When they say they got contract work, and they give all these things, it's all a scam. And me and you paying because we pay the taxes. The Minister of Public Security is supposed to see that and stop it. Right? Because he in charge. Mr. Granger need to do better. The thing about it is that we need to start hanging. That's how I get the country under control. That's right, God rather says he have to do it, he can do it all over again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Call your name. Hello?
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Gentlemen, my friends.
Yes.
The Muslim guy, what's his name? Guyana.
Yes.
Santi, my friend.
Yes.
Listen, I saw in the newspaper before me, lack of human capacity is the biggest problem for almost all ministries. I disagree with the Minister of Finance. One is because if you retire at 55 and you go home and you spend 20 years, you have 20 years of experience, 30 and 20, 55. If you carry out a research in the past 20 years in this country, you find you have thousands of Guyanese that have retired from all sectors, a different area in the public sector and in the private sector. If you establish a database and you bring in the resume or the CV of these people, I'm talking both locally and in the diaspora. You got hundreds of thousands of experience. Moreover, look at the human side of the scientific, they have qualifications. The human side, that there are so many people who want to give back. Carry out the research in the global community. You'll find so many NGOs. Because people are moving to give back something to humanity. To come and tell me now that you lack human capacities, to tell me that you lack vision. And I gave this general is that if you don't give the man the opportunity, you can't say that he can't make it. I'm a student of the scriptures. You make a garden before God make a garden before you make the man. You create the platform. Therefore, if you are talking about development, all hands have to be on deck. Your use up your experience. Look, you are there, went through so many things, but you're still fighting for justice.
That's right.
You have something to offer. Mr. Jen has experience, Mr. Santi has years of experience. So is my friend, Carl. You have years of experience. You're not incorporating experience in the decision-making process. The problem with Thomas Barnum, when he started, he had the resource because he made so much enemy. The people of the West that put sports in his wheel. But the idea is not bad.
I make lot of enemy.
Last but not least, is that if you don't, if you underestimate the man to rise up to the challenge, Mr. General is speaking the right thing. We need a development bank. Every black village in this country is owned by black people who work and bought it. How is it that you don't have entrepreneurial? You have it. You still don't have the bloody experience, man. You don't have the direction. I am so disappointed. I could say more another time. Because I have seen young people given chance and mess things up. Mr. Pinder, you're the same wavelength. Their place is filled and I'm empty.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Calling you here. Hello?
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Sharma, to you upon it.
Yes.
Yes.
With the Daisuko thing.
Yes.
Why you don't pay Mr. Yusuf Assad to run Daisuko, put Daisuko as a shareholder business, and Daisuko going to boost up. Because Yusuf Assad next year boost to a high level. You understand? With this kind of thing.
Okay.
If they don't start it high-end, trust me.
Okay.
The study population, since I live by population is 700 or something, 62 now.
Yeah,
the
that's
population is still 700 or something. And if they don't start declining, the population will turn 200 or something.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma.
Call your name. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Two quick points.
Yes.
Mr. Shaw talked about the security minister being incompetent and having a clue.
Yes.
Do you understand that weekly the president has a national security committee that meets to discuss crime in the country and so on? So then they're not functioning because they're not coming up with no plan to alleviate the problem. And next point, Mr. Santi made.
Yeah.
Mr. Samuels was awarded nationally, right?
Yes.
Without Mr. Samuels at the head of the police office, the situation would have been worse.
Okay.
What?
Why you have to understand that?
Okay.
How?
Why you think the government is not doing anything to remove Mr. Samuels?
Okay.
The situation would be worse. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let people talk.
Yes.
Sorry, hello?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
You gotta speak up.
Mr. Sharma, seeing as we get a government in office is what we want now, right? And all the promises that he made on the campaign trail, so far he failed.
How you know you feel? Name me one for what feel. Name me one. Name me one.
Well, he promised better salary for the working class of people.
By when? By when?
By when? By his first 100 days in office, there was a manifesto going out.
Yeah.
That's
the
true.
man you know of that.
Okay. Let me
carry on.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think Mr. Sharma's supposed to know of that too, but everybody's just playing stupid because this government is going wrong and they fear to speak out. But to prove yourself as a true man in this land is that you have to speak out against whoever going wrong.
Okay.
Even if it's our own self.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
The only thing this government has to do for Guyana is bring out a lot of dark food vendor all over the place. A lot of black people children running around by traffic light.
Selling
Try
water.
to make a daily living out of selling water.
No, don't say black people children, man. All the children. Can't say black people.
No, it's black people children more.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Sure, it's a
saying.
fact.
Yeah.
I drive taxi
How
around
you can say
here,
black
somewhere,
people children? How you can say black people children?
I don't be in a building and make suggestions while it's going outside. I'd be out there so I could talk what I see.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Right? This government needs to do more or
Ship out.
stop promising the guy. These people if they can't do better,
Yeah.
Ship out.
it's better put the previous administration back in office.
No.
That's worse.
No.
No, don't say it's worse. At least you used to get for eat and drink.
No. You don't get to drink.
Oh, drink.
Eat and drink.
Okay, call it thank you, right?
And we have to stop blaming the previous administration and fix our business and stop pointing finger.
Okay, thank you very much. Have an easy. Call your name. Hello? 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 Hello?
Mr. Sharma, the gentleman wrong.
Yeah.
That the government promised to earn the 400 days.
Yes. Let me hear what you say. What you going to say about that?
Yeah, but they raise their salary. They raise their salary. 400 days. It's their salary.
He mixed it up.
Mr. Sharma, if you see the speak all the time, it's such a Beautiful vehicle, man. Oh, God. I wish I could get one of that. It was just sit down with a D in it. Have a good day, sir.
No.
If you could spend money on like things like that for the Prime Minister,
Hey.
country rich, man.
Thank you very much.
You look after your house.
Yeah, call you in here. Hello.
Nice, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Nice to see you back in the program.
Yes, yes.
Good day to everybody.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. the prison officer who get the award, it's just over him, right? Because we have no prison right now. So they get 2 awards. Right?
You're pretty,
Okay.
What we got to deal with is look at your program.
Yes.
You might say nonsensical, but
Yes.
you see a lot of meaning.
Yes.
Right? It's very truthful background.
Yes.
What the government should do is give you a good salary in your old age so you to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing anything.
Okay.
Whether Jack Rambutan or no matter who, they are not doing anything. They are helping themselves.
Yes.
Right? No, you got people like a Santi, like Saul, like Braham, and they can't do nothing. They said the country for young people, you must retire at
Yes.
65. And yet we got retire army, and pull up all these parts. What happens? I got no ordinary decent-minded people come from UG with qualifications to pull those jobs. What are we talking about young people? Where are they? You got a bank that you can learn local entrepreneur, and you go in and tell the people in the United States, you want the country go back in the 80s, where the local entrepreneur like myself, right, push this country to go forward. Where is the bank to lend people money at like a 5%, 6%? Where am I will get money?
That's true, that's true, that's true, that's true.
Exactly. True.
Good point, very good point, very good point, very good point.
The president is saying everything is green.
Yeah.
Right, and everything is changing green. But yet it's drying up. Sugar dry up, rice dry up, gold and all dry up. As soon as the oil come, gold gone.
Okay.
Right? So what are we doing? Bashama station will remain green. It will remain blossom because this is the people's station to hear your views.
Yeah.
Some of the callers are talking, I agree and disagree with some of them. Guyana people speak out their mind.
Yes.
This is not for government farm. Oh, because of that we will vote for that.
That is purpose. The program. That is the purpose. This program. Yes.
We want to live in
Yeah.
one leader.
Okay. Okay.
Live in a leader in 2 different
Okay,
things. You
yeah.
promised them so many things.
Yeah.
Where are the promises? Where is it? Tell me where is the promises?
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Let me see the reality
Yeah.
what they on the ground.
Okay.
Ornam has put banks there where his own people destroy it and they run and left Guyana. Right? We need the banks to come back because you got open-minded people will borrow and receive. Right? We
Yeah.
need it for the local entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You need banks to lend at a
Okay.
very cheap interest rate.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's my plan to you, but my suggestion to you. Mr.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Let me touch on building society. Building society, pay what we will say loan interest rate. Building society.
The
But I think
building,
was 6, 8 months, 10 months,
the
9
building
months, 6,
society
7 months.
rates, no, if it varies.
Yeah.
If you borrow
Yeah. Yes.
2
Tell
million,
me
3
now.
million, up
Yeah.
up to
12
eight-
million.
eight-
12
eight-
million.
no, up to 6 or 8
8
million.
million.
You pay 6%
Yes,
or
I didn't know that.
8%, and if you pay,
Yes.
if you borrow more than that,
Yes.
then you pay a higher rate, which is
Okay.
about 12%. And they give you,
12%.
look, the building society
Yes.
is a good example of how we can function in the housing, because a lot of people, including myself, borrow money and build a house.
Okay.
Had it not been for that, I would not have been able to
Okay,
do
okay.
so.
Who's the new chairman? The former commissioner of police, who succeeded Laurie Lewis as commissioner. He's the chairman of the NBS now. McDonald.
Chairman?
Yes. Floyd McDonald, I think he's the chairman.
No.
Huh?
The chairman, I think, is McDoom.
You sure?
No,
McDonald.
The
I
lawyer
thought I saw a
McDonald.
photo of McDonald, I think.
No, the chairman is elected by the members, but the point is a highly undemocratic organization controlled by the Jagdeo clique. If you read the reports, you will see it's a scandal that they are able to control that organization, people's money. It is not their
What
money.
the chairman in charge of building society right now?
The building
The chairman,
society.
the chairman. The chairman.
I think the chairman still is Mr. McDoom.
I don't
Who's
think
the
so.
PPP man? And look, the former chairman was the former Minister of Labour,
Nanda
Mr.
Gopal.
Nanda Gopal.
Yeah.
All right. Then Mr. Nanda Gopal, I'm very surprised that he collaborated with Mr. Jagdeo and the rest of them to get rid of Mr. Arjun and his other colleagues.
Ken
Because
Vincent.
those men had been proven beyond the shadow of
Maybe
doubt
you should have him on the
that
program.
that they were good men.
Okay.
And those men were arbitrarily
I'll
taken
get
on.
Arjun to come in and say to some programs on Saturdays.
Arjun would not want to
No,
come
no,
on the
get,
program.
get the
Why?
same
Why?
Gopal to come on the
He
program.
still has the case. The case,
Okay.
NBS has appealed, even
Yeah,
though
yeah.
the man has got judgment.
Judgment, aye.
And something, that's why I'm calling on Mr. Nakamoto, through this program, that he must amend the law of the law in Parliament, the NBS law that brought it into being, so that the members can get control over that organization, and a resolution, a special meeting needs to be called, where a resolution put to the board of directors that they must stop this nonsense and wasting our money. It's our money for lawyers.
Yes.
You know who's their lawyer?
Who's your
And it's a disgrace. Ashton Chase and his daughter. What a disgrace for Ashton Chase.
Why was a disgrace?
At the age of nearly 90, is going to
I think he's
represent.
over 90 already.
Yes, could go and represent an organization. He's just destroyed his reputation.
He's over 90.
Ashton Chase was the founder, one of the founders of the PPP. He wrote some very good books on labor law and the history of the labor movement in this country. But look how in his old age he's soiling himself in this kind of nonsense.
That's his legacy.
The man has got justice. Justice Moore, who was the ombudsman, said that they wrongfully dismissed those men. They went to the court, the High Court ruled in their favor, giving them compensation of over $70 million. They have appealed the case. Then they should not have been allowed to appeal the case. So a resolution, a special general meeting needs to be called by the, and you see this fellow Christopher Ram, he's criticizing this government. Christopher Ram and I went to a meeting when they took that money and dismissed these men, and we spoke out. In fact, it was in the Stabrook newspaper front page what I and Christopher Ram said at that meeting, the NBS meeting. It wasn't a members' meeting. But what needs to happen, Mr. Sharma, we're talking about justice.
Yeah.
Justice for people in this country is not being given to thousands and thousands of Guyanese people. And we need to vet those judges and those lawyers who represent people in the name of justice.
It's alleged that people take your land get a loan. Bill said loan. A long time for get loan.
I don't know about that, and I can't say that. But I know that in my case, it took a long time for me to get, because there were some non-entities there for whatever reason they were stopping the loan. You know how I got my loan? When Mr. Gopal was the chairman, and I went to see him when he was permanent secretary to the Ministry of Public Service, and we were talking, and then he said to me, well, what are you doing now? So I'm trying to build a house. He said, and I can't get a loan. He said, you apply for NBS? He said, yes. He picked up the phone and he called Nizam. Nizam is the man PPP man there, who control things. Nizam, yes. Nizam Mohammed. I know Nizam. He used to go to Zebok school with us. He know me very well. So he picked up the phone, he called Nizam. He said, Nizam, look, Mr. Rahman is here with me. And he said he applied for this loan and he submitted all the documents and papers and he hadn't got it. I was waiting for the thing for nearly 3 months to build my house. I had all the papers. I went back to England, got all the documentation, gave it to them. So he told Nizam, look, if the man got all the papers and documents, why is he with it? I went and see Nizam. He said, go and see him, man. I went and see him the same day. Mr. Nawa was there in Nizam's office. I didn't know Nizam was there, so I went up to his office. He called the girl. He said, bring Mr. Rahman's file.
What do you think so long dragging him?
Let me explain this. My example, seriously, is what ordinary people in this country are going through, and they don't have a voice. So my case is an example of the thousands of people who are not getting a fair hearing, because we have a level of incompetence in this country that needs to be changed so that ordinary people can have a voice. And they know who they can complain to. So what happened is, when Nizam went through the file and he asked her, he said, you got this, you got that, I fulfilled all the criteria. Then he looked at her and he said, So why the man application has not been approved?
Yes.
He said, look, go ahead and bring the form. She bring the form. She said, the next 2 weeks I got the money. So the point I'm trying to take to you is this.
You got to know somebody. You got to know somebody there.
If you
Yes.
hadn't been around
That's
to
right.
have this program,
Yes.
don't mind what other people criticize
Yes.
you. What they
Forward.
make.
Yes. Yes.
You must be concerned
Yeah.
about the thousands of other people, 99% of the
99%,
people
that's right,
who
that's
call
right.
you in here or come to see you, and you are a conduit for justice because you allow them to say these things.
That's right.
And the authorities, whether it be the past authorities or the present ones, are listening. And if they don't take action,
I
then-
do have that complaint about the building society. When people dragging it and I get loans.
well, we need to do an investigation. Into
Yeah,
it. We
I
need to
will
do an
definitely work on-
investigation.
I'll work on
We
that,
need
right.
to get. But
Yeah.
you say you're doing this thing, but ma'am, I don't know why. Because people say,
But
oh,
it's-
Mr. Sharma
but
said
probably
to come here.
the central
Mr.
bank
Sharma
too should
come
be
here and so
involved
on.
in that.
No, we need to get them investigated. Let people come to us and give us their names and say the procedure
I'm gonna do
and
that.
so on. Let them come here or call us and let them come and see us.
But who's our listening to the program, we can get the advice from
And,
from
and
him.
yes, exactly,
Advice,
exactly.
Yes.
And people who are affected, let them come here and talk to us.
Talk, call in. Hello. Yeah, good evening.
Can you speak?
You gotta speak a little more loud, please. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I want to speak about the two S's, sugar and security.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead now.
Mr. Brown, I really have great respect for him. Pertaining to rights.
Yes.
For sugar to wheel.
Yes.
No, I'm a cane farmer.
Yes.
You got to speak up, brother.
Yeah, I'm a cane
Yes.
farmer. I'm saying to you that wheel
Yeah.
has its own problem.
Good afternoon.
I just want to be brief. The
Yeah.
sugar
Yes.
content, sugar
Yeah.
content,
Okay. All right. Good.
because of
All
the
right.
operational,
Yes. Okay. Then.
the operation at wheel.
Yes.
You said the sucrose content.
bypass
Yes.
system, the
Yeah.
ROM is now failed.
Yes.
They used to lose tremendous juice, the sucrose content, because of the bypass system that
Yeah.
they had there. They weren't extracting enough
Yeah.
juice from the cane. And this was going on for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Hence the TCTS was very, very
Yeah.
high.
Yes. Yes.
So, if Mr. Rahman did his research, he would find out that
Yeah.
many cane farmers were losing
Okay.
confidence
Yeah.
in that
Okay.
estate because of the
Okay.
malfunction of the
Yes.
farm.
Yes. Yes.
Malfunction?
Wales, I would support the closure of Wales
Yeah.
because it wasn't helping the economy.
Okay.
Do research on it,
Okay.
find out why
Thank you very much.
why
Yes.
it was being bypassed.
Okay.
They had
Yeah.
the system.
Yeah.
In other words,
Yeah,
there's a knife that
Yeah.
cuts the cane
Okay.
before it's being
Okay.
squeezed,
Okay.
crushed.
Okay.
That knife wasn't operational for
Okay.
years. And
Yeah.
the farmers were
Yeah.
suffering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Especially since they had the new cut.
Yeah.
Second, they're
Yeah.
not security. There's a problem with the security sector headed by Mr. Abdullah.
Yes. What's the problem?
I don't want to go in full detail,
Okay.
but
Just a tip of the iceberg.
talk to our next
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
I get the impression you only deal with big shots.
Okay.
Hey, what happened? Why is not seen member of the public? Find out.
Okay.
I want to close on that. I don't want to criticize the
Okay.
public.
Okay.
But find out why Mr. Ramjitan doesn't
Yeah.
see member of
Member
the
of the public. Thank you very much.
With sensitive issues concerning
Yeah.
police
Yes.
force.
Yes.
Find out.
Okay. Thank you very much.
How an idea.
You too.
Thanks very much.
Akad just said to me.
No.
Yeah, Akad just said to me. But they just talk about building society. Somebody blackout right to come on. Blackout. That means building city not doing good.
Of course, you're not.
Because they're not some of the people. They're not some of the nation.
Because you have a clique of people who are managing it, and
Yeah,
that
managing.
needs to change.
Who's the clique of the people?
We'll find out. I'll find out to get details.
Give me some of the details.
I will get details.
I'm sure I will look at them.
The
I'm
next-
sure I will look at
The
them.
next program. Yes.
Yes.
I'll get
Yeah.
the details. I'll get the
Because
full
the
details.
business are trying to feed a lot of people application.
As a member, I will demand that they give me all the information.
Yeah.
That they don't,
Yeah.
we'll come back on Saturday program. They're listening. They must know.
People said they give you a very hard time to get application problem, application granted.
We'll investigate it.
Call you on the hello. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon, yes.
Mr. Sharma, seeing as 4 you guys is on the panel there,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
I just wish you and the guy to your right,
Yeah.
Sankey,
Yeah.
and the man to the right.
Yes.
You guys just name two persons to one thing. Just name two things that this government do for this Guyanese that we could benefit. Just two.
Lot of things they do, man. You know, you,
Between four of you guys,
yes.
just name two things that we could boast about that this government did for Guyanese.
Okay, we're going to tell you this soon.
I'll tell you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
give you guys till up to next week.
No, I'll give you one right away now.
Right away.
You know,
Yes.
I'll name one right away. No. I'll name one right away.
Yeah.
With the border dispute with Venezuela,
Yeah.
right?
Sell the matter.
Nothing. The matter is now
Yeah.
is going before the international court. You know, that is one good measure. We want a final settlement.
What is next now?
That they have set up, that they inquired 50 inquiries
Yes.
to show the level of corruption
Yes, that's right.
that this country has
Yeah.
never experienced in its entire history.
Yeah.
The sugar industry is one of them.
Ross, next.
What?
What's your comment? And
About what?
What he
what-
said about saying
good
that
things
they
that the
want
government
good
has
things that
done,
the
one
government
good
has
thing.
done. I can name
Oh, no, that's one.
I can name 50.
Oh, no, what do you want more? Yeah. You can't get it.
No, the city of Georgetown was
Yes.
really in a bad state.
Of course.
And it's
Yeah.
not in such a bad
Yes,
state
yes,
anymore.
yes.
So fire was in a very rundown,
Okay.
deplorable infrastructural situation. Is not like that anymore.
The roads.
But I think the one good thing that this government has done really is to give us hope for another round of change in 2020,
Okay.
because it shows that they are not really capable of delivering
Okay.
what they promised us.
Why?
It's a simple fact.
Oh.
They don't have the capacity to
Yeah.
do it. Now, brethren, they put a budget out there, but half the money for the budget is spent yet, both here in Georgetown, Region 4, all the regions, Region 10. The point is, here, the government put a system in place, local government
It
system.
doesn't work.
It ain't working.
It ain't working.
But it's still in place. It could be activated if the right people go and touch the right buttons. So the point is that, yeah, they've made certain cosmetic changes, but the real things ain't happening because they're still
What
playing
is that?
favoritism.
Favoritism.
They're playing favoritism with people.
Yes.
And people who got heights, they're putting them, giving them a stiff arm like that. And people
Okay.
who will kowtow and be
Okay.
sycophantic
So-
to them, they're giving
So
them.
what do you think about my TV station license now?
What's that?
My TV station license.
You, by, in the next several months, you ought to get.
That's a week time.
Because here, why? The Broadcasting
Yes,
Act is
yes,
in.
yes.
They
Yes.
give until, in fact, applications closed yesterday,
Yeah, yes,
October
yes,
6th.
that's right.
Some people have not paid up to the end of last year.
Yes, yes.
And so some people are going to be taken off the register.
Okay, yes.
So frequencies will be freed up, and you ought to get expanded, extended frequency, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. If that doesn't happen, it's time you become president.
Rahman, some of you.
Mr. Sharma,
Yes.
what?
Like for example, business society.
This program, you
Yeah.
know, I have always
Yeah.
been trying to be objective.
Yes.
And I am not interested in defending people for the sake of it because they're
Yes.
my friends. I have no friends in the government. When I say I don't have any friends, I don't have anybody who I personally have to
Yes.
defend them.
Yes.
But let me say something about the president. The president needs to act, not to have incompetent people. There has been enough people who have called in this program who are supporters of this government. I listen to their voices, and if they are dissatisfied, like you, then something is wrong somewhere. So yes, I can defend the
Yeah.
president
Yeah.
on the basis that
Yeah.
he came to office
Yeah.
tied in with the AFC,
Yeah.
with this Cummingsburg Accord,
Yes.
and he can't remove Ramjatan, he
Yeah.
can't remove
Yeah.
Moses
Yeah.
Nagamutu, he
Yeah.
can't remove
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Minister of Agriculture, he can't move
Yeah.
the Minister of Infrastructure.
Yeah.
These are very important ministries
Yes.
that are not functioning in
Can't
the
touch them.
interest
Okay.
of the people, and he can't remove them because
Okay.
he's tied in
Yes.
and locked in
Yes.
legally
Yes.
with these guys.
Yes.
Here it is.
But here,
Yes.
Nagamutu says that the Cummingsburg Accord, they're looking at the review. In fact, this lady who is the head of
Yes.
GINA,
Yes.
Beverly Alert.
Beverly Alert was
Alert.
Alert. She was put in charge of the review.
Yes, yes.
You know how long the review was done?
Here my point with
Where is
the
the
AFC.
report?
Yes.
What it is that the
Yes.
AFC is going
Yes.
to review?
Yes.
What it is they're going to review?
Yeah.
Dominic Gaskin says
Yeah.
that the AFC is not bribable.
Okay.
But as far as I'm concerned, the Cummings-Borg Accord
Okay.
is the first big bribe
It's
that
the
they
biggest
accepted.
bribe
Yeah.
And
because
to move
it
them on
was
from a
the
third force position.
Cummings-Borg Accord.
Yes.
And the man who
It's a
heads,
bribe document.
you're talking about oil, right?
Okay.
Watch. You bet me.
Yeah.
You want to bet me now?
That for what?
This oil industry,
Okay.
the,
Yeah,
peop-
bro.
the people who are engaged in it is one of the AFC men.
Yeah.
Who's the one? Who's the man?
Raphael Trotman.
Now he's the leader of the party.
And he just get married.
And he just
Things
went
looking
on.
good.
No, the second one.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Congratulations. When a man get married, you must say that.
Things
When
looking
you
up.
get a child, you must say that.
Congratulations.
Oil running.
All running, right? So the question is,
I'll run him, yes.
last week I sat down and you showed on Monday,
Yeah, Trotman.
you showed Trotman
Yeah.
when you were in your good days,
Yes.
interviewing Mr. Trotman.
Trotman, yes.
And Mr. Trotman gave a very good
Very,
interview.
very.
He's a bright boy,
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
truly.
No. What he said there
Yeah, it's
in
good.
that interview,
Yeah.
I must congratulate him for saying it. The problem is, did he implement any of those things that he tell you there?
He's a hypocrite.
Up to today,
He's a
he
hypocrite.
was Speaker of the House of
Yes,
Parliament,
yes,
you know,
yes.
at the time, and he didn't implement the things he said.
But
This is what people are
but maybe
talking
he's
about.
a speaker and not a doer.
No. he made some very
Very
important
important
things.
point. Yeah, that's right.
And I must congratulating you. I must congratulate you
Yeah.
for the way in which you conducted the interview.
That interview, that's
because
right.
you got a lot out of him.
Yeah, that's right.
Did he look at it? I tell you what, tell Raj to sending the YouTube so he can look at it on his
Okay.
little thing.
Yeah.
When he get time,
Yeah.
now that he married, he go there home.
No,
So
he-
he gonna get
he mightn't get time, though.
to look at it. Right?
You might have time.
But coming back to the AFC,
Yes.
they will have to deal with this Cummings-Borg Accord
Yeah.
next year when it comes
Oh,
to an end.
yes.
That was when Mr. Granger then will take action
Okay.
to deal with them, because they can't, now the government can't make an excuse that you got these dead weight on us. They're really a dead weight.
Why you say them are dead?
Look
weight?
at the agriculture. Brother, I am not the minister.
Ministries
I
are
am
not
not
working.
elected. I'm not a parliamentarian. I'm not a councillor. I'm not a regional
at the
councillor.
ministries that are
I
failed.
went in early this morning to Wales Estate to see the conditions of the farmers, the cane farmers. And they cannot bring out the cane from the dam because the dam is the responsibility of the local, of the region.
Okay, what do you do? What do you did after that? Yeah, what you did? What you went there? You went there to do what? Do what?
You went to Wales to
No,
do
all our-
no. When I came out from there,
Yes.
I was invited to go to the PNC Special
Okay,
Congress.
so you didn't go?
So I went, yes,
Okay.
I was there. The
What do
PNC.
you saw?
Huh?
What do you saw?
What did I see?
Yeah.
Well, it was the history of the PNC. I think he gave me a refresher's view
Yes.
of Burnham
Okay.
on what the things he did. Look,
Yes.
Burnham built that Demerara Bridge.
Okay.
It was supposed to last for 20 years, Mr. Sankis. You as a management expert should know that. 20 years. It is now 40 years old.
Yeah.
The PPP people who just call in and make noise like animals here, they should
Yes.
answer these questions.
Yes.
Why is it that after 40 years, the PPP didn't build another bridge? And now they're criticizing this government severely. My only criticism of the government on the new bridge
Yes.
is that it must be at 24 hours, 7
Yeah.
hours, which
Yeah.
must not have no retraction.
Okay.
So people can buy. Then is where you're not going to waste time. You know how much time is wasted, human hours wasted going across from here to the bridge,
Yeah,
go to
that's true.
Bocos and coming back, Mr. Sharma. Have you ever calculated that?
Yeah, that's true.
We must do a calculation to see. I spoke to Dr. Ramsahoy, Fenton Ramsahoy, our first Attorney General. I spoke to him. He came into the country, and I said to him, as a professor, I said, Dr. Ramsahoy, tell me something. Could you answer this question to me? Because it puzzled me.
Yeah.
If you're in government with the level of technology and the level of mathematics, can't you calculate that if you having so much cars coming into the country every year, would you not calculate in the next 10 years how much vehicle you will have in the country
Okay.
and how much roads
Yes.
and bridges
Yes.
that you need to build? Well, this is Jagdev's vision, a visionless man, Jagdev.
Okay, let me take some more callers. Caller, you on here. Hello? 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 Hello, calling you. Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
My panel.
Yes.
Mr. Francisco spoke about one good thing that the government has do.
Yeah.
He said that the government, with the controversy with Venezuela, the matter is now going to the international court. What good is that when the court has already decided that thing since in 80s, whatever? Now to go back to the international court again?
Well,
oh no, let you answer, hold on, you answer your question. Okay, thanks, right?
I'll finish one more point.
Yes,
Mr. Rama talk about Mr.
Make notes.
Infrastructure Minister,
Yes.
not do the good job. Yes, he's praising all the good road works and the drainage and the city back to normal and all of that. That was done by the infrastructure minister.
He was not responsible.
No,
All
hold
the
on.
work
Hold on, you respond, hold on,
drainage
respond, yeah, yes.
is being done by the infrastructure ministry. All the roads the same.
Okay.
You're praising one side and then you're
Okay,
criticizing
okay, thank you very much. Thank you for some of your response.
well, listen.
Yes.
We had the 1899
Yes,
arbitration
yes,
award.
yes,
We all agree that that was a final settlement, but Venezuela has
Yes.
still continued with, we want to have a final thing. We know that we're in the right, but still, they'll have to observe that decision.
Okay.
By the UN.
Rahman?
By the
Yes,
UN.
yes, yes.
By
Let me answer him on those two questions, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
The first thing is that
Yeah.
this provocation, I'll call it a provocation. Venezuela, look, Chavez, when he came here,
Yeah.
made peace on that
He was
matter.
more understanding.
All right? This government, this current Venezuelan government is under enormous pressure.
Pressure, yes.
By those people, the past parties who really want to take over Guyana.
The same opposition people.
Yes, the same opposition people in Venezuela, they're the ones, if they come to power, then they're going to invade Guyana. This Venezuelan government is preventing that from happening, but it's under fire. So it has to divert people's attention to this border issue. But the border issue is not the issue that's affecting us. What is affecting us in Guyana? Did you know, Mr. Sharma, just a matter of information, that Mr. Chavez did a feasibility study to supply gas to Guyana, to build a road, a highway, what was now being built, free from Caracas to Georgetown, coming through Linden, and to bring fuel to us. In fact, Venezuela had shown its hands by giving the last government fuel, where they only had to pay 60% of the amount. This is where these things have got to be exposed. They gave them 60%. 40% to be paid in the next 25 years. 25 years from 2005 to now, we haven't made 25 years. Okay. So what has happened to that money? They sold all the oil. Okay? Now, on the question, what you said about, what did I say?
Call you in here, hello?
What was it about?
Yeah, good afternoon.
I just being a regular person watching your program.
Yes.
I could understand Rastaman feeling. You know,
what?
Rastaman, you got here when he was speaking.
Yes.
So you,
yeah.
Listen to Rastaman.
Yes.
And that the vex of the part,
yes.
the one part,
yes.
should allow you to talk out the man right.
Yes.
Who in it, they sidestep it.
Okay.
That's one part.
Yes.
And Mr.
Next part.
Rahman must stop thinking about Jadjo. Think about telling you something more positive when he's on this program.
Okay.
Oh, into the TV, Jadjo. He tell you put something what he could do.
Yeah, but
they're
destroying. He is the one that is not allowing the progress to take place.
No, but going back to the Venezuelan controversy, the dispute, that has been hindering progress in Guyana. Look, we had a hydro project in the 1970s. It was halted because of the objections. We have to get that thing removed entirely.
You are right about that, because Burnham has a plan to harness the Kaitro Falls. It would have cost $300 million US at that time. It was the Venezuelan, the reactionary political parties that were ruling Venezuela at the time that stopped it. The point I'm trying to make is, we have, despite this disputing, we have to see the difference between the old political parties who want to come back to power in Venezuela and this government. We have to make friendship with the Venezuelan people.
I'm sorry, you are not allowed to complete.
And try and get a peaceful settlement of this matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, good afternoon to you, Panama.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yes, they call it adjusting. This man Rahman is Jack. We don't want to go back to the past.
Yeah, that's right.
We want to go in the future. That's why we voted.
That's why they kept taking him out there.
The one that was bad,
Yeah.
we voted them out.
That's
and we
right.
put a new.
That's right.
We don't want to go back to the past. And if you review a tape on the programs, the first Rahman is it, he dominates the scene. This is why for the people, let us share our concern. There got a lot of people who got problems, need to talk about it. They want the public there, they want you to hear.
Okay.
But Rahman dominates.
Okay. No, they dominate. No.
Go on to the program.
But he don't want to hear me
All
talk.
right.
You must come on the program.
May I say something?
Yes.
You see, gentleman, let that gentleman come on the program because.
Hold on, man.
No,
Let me have a say, man.
one second.
No.
Let him come on the program. The same gentleman, because he talks a lot.
Calm
He talks a lot. Let me hear his voice. The same guy.
down.
The United Nations
Yeah,
Working
yeah,
Group
yes.
on People of African
Yeah,
Descent,
yeah.
WGPAD, Friday, this is yesterday,
Yes,
recommended
yes,
that extrajudicial
Yes,
killings
yes, yes.
by the police be thoroughly investigated and perpetrators brought to justice.
Yeah.
But no mention was made of the gunning down of several persons by death squads. It says that the government should take the necessary measures to guarantee that prompt and impartial inquiries are conducted into all extrajudicial killings by the police, including those targeting people of African descent. Perpetrators are prosecuted and effective remedies are provided to victims. Now, that's a serious kind of recommendation.
Okay.
They also recommend that Lusignan prison should be closed down entirely.
Why should close down?
Because it's a very inhumane prison. The conditions are thoroughly abominable. It's not even fit for animals, much as human beings.
Whose
And
report is that?
This is a United Nations Working Group on People of African Descent. They came and they
Recently?
carried out the investigation, yes. And yesterday they held a meeting, or a press conference or something, and they stated that Lusignan prison should be closed down. Anyway, coming back now to another topical issue, the situation in the Caribbean.
Yes.
People are still suffering, and they'll be suffering for the next year or two, because it will take another year or two for
You're
the
gonna send some food and stuff and give them?
well,
Yeah, we've been
by the
sending-
end of
Yes,
this week,
yes.
our government, with support from the private
Yeah.
sector,
And ordinary people will be putting money into the bank
they sent
accounts.
some containers. In fact, a container of dressed lumber is also on standby to be sent. But more than that, several airlines from Guyana are
Yeah.
going to be bringing back at least 83 Guyanese
Yeah.
this weekend. They're returning home. Jags Aviation Inc., that's BK's
They're working together.
airline, they're going. Roraima Airways going. Fly Jamaica Airways, Air Service Limited, and Hopkinson Mining Aviation, and Trans-Guyana Airways. They're all sending planes
But no,
to
no.
bring Guyanese
But
back
the-
home,
but-
and that is very commendable.
Bring them and do what?
No, but the fuel is supplied by government
no,
too.
hold on.
Yes.
Bring them and do what?
Bring them home.
Yeah, bring them and do what?
Return.
Well,
The Guyanese.
give them refuge, give them sustenance, succor. The
Yeah.
point is, we have a responsibility to all people anywhere in the world,
yeah.
that if they're in problems, we must go and help them and bring them home. We've got land along the Linden-Suicide
Okay,
Highway,
okay. It's
Madia,
all right, it's okay.
Matthews Ridge.
Yeah.
We got land in
No, no,
Guyana.
but-
But
no,
the
no.
only thing is, the United Nations should play a part in this in terms of giving us money to resettle our refugees.
No,
because the United Nations could help us to resettle
Wait,
refugees in this country by giving us the financing
No, you-
to
you-
put down the infrastructure, roads, electricity, water, lights.
But refugees will not, if the UN gives them, not refugees will not be limited to Guyanese. What I'm saying though
We
is
don't
that
mind bringing everybody.
No. What
We
they're
have
saying
room
is
for
that
all.
Yeah.
the government has said it's a temporary measure. Don't get
Yeah.
the idea that they're giving
God-
away land to anybody.
Cardigan here. Hello? Hello?
Good day, Mr. Sharma.
Yeah, good day.
In
Yeah.
your panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Saul,
Yeah.
jail wasn't meant to be a comfortable
Yes.
place.
Yes.
If you want comfort,
Yes.
you must desist from doing wrong.
Yes.
Jail supposed to be a rehabilitative process. That is when
Yes.
somebody go in bad, they come out good. You can't go in bad and come out worse.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is true.
You understand?
Yeah.
Rehabilitation is something that we have not been
Yes,
taking
yes.
cognizance of within our
Yes,
prison
yes.
system.
Yes.
We think that because somebody do bad, they must be written off.
Yes.
No, it's like if your car go bad, you take it to a mechanic shop and come out back with some body work done. Same way with some people. People need body work, they need mental work, they need spiritual work. A jail, a prison system supposed to be a rehabilitative
Yes.
infrastructure.
Environment.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, but Mr. Rahman didn't answer my question. The infrastructure ministry is the only ministry that budget is in keeping with the spending. Is the only budget that is up to date for all the other ministries in this country. And you can see the performance of their work all over the country. So he's contradicting himself.
What about the West Coast? What about the West Coast, the Marara Road that I travel every single day on it? Every single day, they have about 10 contractors doing bits and pieces of the road. When you're doing I have never seen in my entire life a road construction where you got 10 different contractors working in different parts of it. So as you travel, you stop, then you have to wait to go to another place, and then and so you do. When you do construction work like that on a highway, you spend a lot of time doing it in the night. Look at River Hoop. They can put on floodlights and do a lot of those work during the night.
Development has to take place. Yes.
It impedes production, man. Impedes production. It impedes production.
He's saying that to be more efficient, the work should be done at night.
The work should be done at night, so you save time and you save money, and the country can function properly. Mr. Patterson, have you ever? I have spoken to Mr. Patterson, you know, months and months ago about this matter, you know, and he has not been there. Look at the Demerara Bridge. Can they do something better so that people can get better crossing?
Like what?
Better crossing, the hours and the better crossing.
Yeah, call you here. Hello?
Yes, gentlemen.
Yes.
President, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Alman.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Sharma, Mr. Sankiparai, and Mr.
Yes.
Brother dear.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Thomas.
Yeah. Now, last week, when I spoke with the brother, Mr. Sharma, for somehow you asked me if I believe in myself.
Yes, yes.
You know, God is in control.
Yes,
I
yes.
know they live there.
Yes.
But you see what happened from last week to now, one man God.
Yeah.
Mr. tell you God is in control.
Yes, yes.
And man not run things.
Okay.
Man himself for run things.
Yes.
And they right now, you have to see the control the devil. You can't see the control the
Who one man? Which one man shot? Which one man you talking about
man will
shot?
die with the answer back.
Yes.
Neil.
Neil.
And yeah, that's what you know.
Got to put this thing in the hands of God, a nation that prays together.
Yeah.
A nation that goes before God. Any nation that goes before God will just suffer.
Well, today is the mango berry. Today the mango berry.
Monday.
The money go berry. Yeah, money go
That's the
berry.
problem in
Yeah,
society.
yeah, yes,
Based
yes.
on ourselves and
Yeah.
say we go do this and this. For example, at home, all that the brother saying that somewhere how much right left on the file.
Yes.
So we could have sent 50,000 US and give them the disaster relief. Why did you send the right them? I want to see.
That's right.
That's right.
That's correct.
What you want to say is right.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, because of the level of bureaucracy and red tape in this
This is the
country.
point. This is the thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot, Mr. Bonham was the only person I will have knowledge and absorb as a president.
Yeah.
Because the guy had vision.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get people because the party opportunists come back in government and want to make themselves right. And they got the nerve to come on the hill and tell the people, but you know this government job and got so much money and you should join it. He pocket fat, he get in his salary, a full salary, and he could pick up the phone and call anybody.
Marama, why didn't you give the rice? Why didn't you give the rice?
Right?
Why did you store the rice all the time?
That gentleman,
All my year.
that gentleman's name was Mr.
Right.
Ramesh
No,
Ramesh
Ramlakan.
Ramlakan.
Yeah.
Ramlakan.
Mr. Sharma, Mr. Rahman, Mr. Sanki, and Mr. Farai,
Yes.
we don't have a problem in this country
Okay.
with nothing. All we got a problem is that bad management all around.
Yes.
All around is bad management.
Okay.
And
That's
you
true,
put
that's
it
true.
doing back, you could imagine if you got 50 managers between the ministerial position
Yeah.
of guys,
Yeah.
but everybody taking $6-7 million
Yes.
out there alone. You tell me how guys you can go somewhere.
Okay.
He
Okay.
can't survive because it's 50 by 20, it's a 20 manager, it's $5 million, $6 million every month, it's $100 and $120 million every
Okay,
month. Month, but he
got
can't
it.
survive.
Thank you very much.
He
Thank you
can't
very much.
survive. He needs to get
Okay.
got down to thing and stop his favoritism
Okay.
and stop looking at who was
Okay.
who was CMC member and who could
Okay.
come back and get
Okay.
opportunity
Okay.
because they didn't
Okay.
get one. Look, he got us what to brother them back in the
Yeah.
team for. Now we lash him the money here and here movie.
Okay.
Now he also for make life half of people.
Okay.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Especially in the district.
Okay. Right.
Now, huh?
Yeah.
And we got to use them telling
Yeah.
us, like, we got to bring the
Yeah.
youth them and train them to guard them and like,
Okay.
very seriously deal with them. Out of it.
Okay.
This is what we're going
Okay.
out of skill,
Okay.
technical.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Okay. Rama, you can recall whenever you went to the sugar workers when I went.
Yeah, I wanted to read this
Oh, yeah.
coming from the office of the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
This was a leaflet
Yeah.
that he issued.
But no, hold on. Let me tell you.
No, this is
Yeah,
important. It
yeah,
says
yeah.
here, I went there this morning to Wales,
Yeah.
and they say to the sugar workers that that the IFLOT will, from this 2017, the IFLOT estate will absorb as far as possible Wales estate workers. But they should add here the cane farmers, a significant, more than 1/3 of the cane that used to go to Wales
Yeah.
came from the cane farmers.
Yeah.
The cane farmers are not able,
Yeah.
Mr. Sharma,
Yeah.
to carry the cane to IFLOT estate because they didn't prepare the road for them to do that. The man complained this morning. He said, look, the people next to IFLOT estate, the cane farmers there who are carrying cane, they are carrying 5 times cane more than what they have to carry.
Yeah.
And when they go there, they have to wait a whole long line to get a cane uplifted.
But
Now,
it's management there.
no, but
it
Mr.
needs to be
Sankey,
more
the
efficient
point I'm
system.
trying
We need to have more
make,
efficient
look,
system.
all the callers who have called, some of them say that I'm critical of Mr.
Yeah,
Jagdeo.
okay.
All right. I am talking about this government, and I'm talking about people who directly are responsible as ministers
Okay.
for the running of the sugar industry.
But
And what I'm saying
Thank-
is that they did not have the foresight.
Rahman.
That's why we said to them, Mr. Sharma, do not take these kind of rash decisions.
No,
because
but-
you created more
Okay,
problems.
but we should play back what Neil Saw
Rahman, could you
said.
recall when Wales? What you saw in Wales?
I have seen
When the police arrest me.
the police arrest you. You showed it graphically on the television.
Police have accepted their
Let
police
them
get
show
the
it
dirty
for
back.
people's
With
reminder.
the sugar workers.
Then they will see what.
Then you see what I did, what
critical.
I went through, what I went through.
You see those guys who are
Yeah,
saying
yes.
that I am critical of Mr.
Yeah,
Jagdeo.
yes.
I am saying that Mr.
And the job they
Jagdeo,
caused that
Mr.
job.
Jagdeo has a fiduciary responsibility. He gets a salary
Yes.
like Mr. Granger
Yeah,
and Mr.
yeah,
Mr. Ramdatan and Mr. Nagmut. He
Yeah.
gets an official taxpayer
Okay, yeah,
salary
yeah.
as the official leader of the opposition.
Okay.
And he has to act.
No. The
I
man
showed
don't
this
take a
tape here
salary.
now.
The man works on his pension as the president. That's higher than the salary for the opposition leader. He
So you,
opted
so
to-
you have to choose one.
So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
chose,
you have to
so,
stick
he
to the
chose one of it.
president's
but he has
pension.
a full office there. The point I'm trying to make is that he has to work. Opposition doesn't mean to oppose
But that's what they accepted.
alone. Opposition means to work with because he's
Yeah,
part
fine,
of the
fine.
government.
Fine,
Yeah,
fine,
but they
tried to
don't
make-
see
they
that
tried
way.
to try to make.
Constitutionally
But I want to
part
show
of
you
the
what happened
government,
to
so he
workers.
has-
And we should
Have
also play
responsible.
back what Neil Saw had
No,
to
I'm
say.
going to show it to all I'm going to play back. We want to show about sugar workers arrested and beaten by the police.
Yes,
And the
yes.
police who beat me, assaulted me.
They instructed the police to beat
He
him.
told the police to beat me.
Yeah. Instructed
Yeah.
the police.
Well, I want to show the part of it. Call again. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to
Speak up a little louder.
I would like to issue a word of
Yes.
the other callers
Yes.
who always
Yes.
criticize
Yes.
Rahman. My
Yes.
advice to them is that
Yes.
they should take note
Yes.
and learn some wisdom from Mr. Rahman,
Yes.
some understanding,
Okay.
and most of all,
Yes.
well, of course, understanding.
Yes.
They does not know, I don't believe they really know
Yes.
what really played out in the
Yeah.
last government. And he's trying to show us some light, plenty things we
Okay.
don't know,
That's right.
right? So let them take them time and study, and they would learn.
Yes.
The other thing is that,
Yes.
with all due respect
Yes.
to the other members of the panel there,
Yes.
we are
Yes.
observers and we are watchers.
Yes.
I don't
Yes,
believe
yes.
the treatment for Mr. Rahman with members of the other panel is showing nice to us who are watching. So I would advise that you all would show respect to one another because we are watching, yeah? We are
Yeah.
observing everything.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. What do you
respect?
What do you respect?
Allow us to have a word in edgewise. This is what he's saying. Keep it more balanced.
He said that we have the interaction on the panel, but the two you were talking while I was talking. I think that was the
You've been
objective.
talking too much. We have to get in a word edgewise. Like right now, I want to get a
Talking
word
to-
edgewise.
talking to
Last
yourself.
night, we went to a graduation.
Yes.
Last night.
Yes.
A graduation of pilots and engineers on the M20
Yes,
Sky
yes.
Truck. In other words, Guyana's
Yes.
aviation industry is expanding. And because of that, we got to deal with something
Yes.
called pilot safety and aircraft security and these kinds of things. Anyway, last night was the graduation of some pilots who were on a grounded flight school training program. It was authorized and approved by the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority and BK International through the good office of its CEO, Mr. Brian T. Warrior, of which Jags Aviation Inc. is part of the group of companies, facilitated the entire ground school training at BK's boardroom. So we got some, I didn't know we had so many pilots, you know. Initial pilots are Captain Andrew Shaw, Captain Paul Dalgetty, Captain Ron Citroen, and Captain Errol Pearson. They got their certification last night.
Okay.
And we got a whole other set of pilots.
God in the hell.
Really big
Hello?
development.
Mr. Sharma, you're
Yeah.
on the panel.
Yes.
A gentleman was on your program speaking about sugar. I heard that man died.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, sir.
Yes.
You have
Neil
put the
Shaw.
phone on because
That's
He's a good man.
you know lots
Yeah.
about sugar.
Yes.
How old is he, sir?
65.
65.
Thank you.
Okay. Call you in the hello? Hello? Yes.
Good day, Mr. Sharma.
Yeah, good day. Yeah.
Good day, good day.
Good day.
Yes.
I would like to get a little insight from you guys, man. If
Yeah.
you guys could make some inquiry from the Honorable Minister, Mr. Patterson, concerning the Mabura Road, the condition
Okay.
of the Mabura Road going to Mabura, let them Madio.
Okay.
It's in a very, very, very deplorable situation, and nobody is saying anything about it, Mr. Sharma. I'd like you to highlight it
Yeah.
to me, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now we got to look at that, right?
Mabura.
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 The roads
I
are
got driver
deplorable
with myself.
condition.
Yes.
Where's that, Mr. Shah? Where's Mabura?
Call you in the hello?
It's in
Yes.
interior.
Hello?
Yeah, going up to.
Northwest.
Hello?
Hello, good
Yeah.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you and your panel.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Let us speak a little more about the health sector.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
But why is it that when you go to the hospital, and if you have to take a scan or so forth, you have to go to a private hospital, to a private hospital to take it?
Why do you got to go to private hospital? Why? Why the reason
Because
why?
you will take a scan, they do not go to the hospital.
Since when?
Alone.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you do not go to the hospital. When you want to take a scan, you have to go to Godwin's or Mercy or other places to take it. If you have to do an ultrasound, you have to get dates to do the ultrasound. Sometimes they give you a whole month before you go to the ultrasound.
Oh my. That's very, very
And when you
sad.
go, with when you go,
Yes.
they say the machine is not working.
Okay.
So you have to go to a private hospital now. If you don't have the money to do
Okay.
it,
That's
you have
true.
to
Yeah,
wait
that's
nearly
true.
a whole month before you go to the hospital to go get it done.
Okay.
Instead of they do that, they could have some other machines at the hospital.
Okay.
Because to go to the private hospital, you have to pay.
Pay, that's right.
A scan is 40,000.
Yes. That's
Instead
true.
of that, they can create something else in the hospital that they can
Okay.
get the machine there
Okay.
and money will come in.
Yes.
Because they can take a letter card
Okay.
and let the people do the scan into the
Yes,
hospital.
yes, yes.
Instead of they have to run and go
Okay.
everywhere all
Yeah.
over the
Machines
place.
must be
Yeah.
working.
Yeah, you're right, Yosi.
So she's saying that
You say putting money into the health sector.
Yes.
Put money into the health sector to benefit the people.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
so she's saying that the public hospital doesn't scan people.
Maybe the equipment is not working
Call
properly.
you
or
in the
what?
hello? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
The other lady that just called, you know what getting problems to the hospital?
Yes.
The president made a mistake in the fourth place when he
My mistake, me.
Mr. Norton.
Ah.
Mr. Norton, in his fourth year in office, was traveling the length and breadth of this country identifying the problems, right? And
Yes.
then you would have a solution to it. The president removed him, put Miss Lawrence, who got a clue what's going on, and your system is here. Thank you.
No, if he already identified
Yeah.
the problems, right?
She said
So
move
just
on.
got to take
Yeah.
action now.
Call you in the hello?
He
Hello?
traveled the length of the country.
Yes.
You know that lady was speaking about the hospital?
Yes.
Things empty.
Yes.
A CT scan
Yes.
And a private entity.
Yes.
You're a poor person, you have to get 40 to 50,000.
That's right. I know that. I heard that. Yes.
So a strong hospital put in one or two of those machines. And if they charge just $5,000.
Yeah, that's right. 5,000. Yes.
$5,000. People is going to go there and do it.
Yeah.
So
The
that's
140,000 for the 60,000.
60.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
yeah.
saying I tell you that type of pants, but
Yeah,
you know,
Yes.
because you will shut up if you rent it, you don't need to pay that.
Okay.
That's an interesting
Thank
point.
you very much.
That's
Thank
an
you very
interesting
much.
point he made, though, because even if you charge the people $5,000,
Rahman?
over a period of time.
Rahman, some of this program will play back.
Okay.
We're going to be back on Wednesday. Tuesday.
Okay.
So all the program I play, we got to replay some of this program back.
So people can see the
People,
history.
yeah, we can see what it go and the government can see what's going to the member of the public.
But it was played on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I
Tuesday,
think.
Tuesday.
No.
What you want to play it?
Tuesday we
No,
have this program
this
on.
one is shown on Monday.
Monday.
Lunchtime. This one.
Yeah.
I think this one was shown, the last week's one was shown after Mr. Saw died, and
Oh, yes,
I
that's
spoke
true,
to
yes,
Tyrone,
yes,
yes.
yes. So,
So
Wednesday.
I
it
don't know
was shown.
when Tuesday
Tuesday.
program. When is Tuesday program shown?
okay. Now we talk about Wednesday. Let me look at the Wednesday then.
Look at Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday. We fit a day, so we can get people who are watching, to listen to the program. Listen to the program. All right? Call in. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you speak up?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to talk about the matter of church child abuse.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, no, I haven't heard anyone make mention about those persons who might not themselves sexually abuse children, but would set the children to commit the act maybe for their entertainment. To my mind, they too are pedophiles. In addition to that, parents need to be aware of the games their children are engaged in, because children playing certain games unknowing to their parents, those games are initiation in the direction of sexual abuse and
Yes.
sexual activity at
Yes.
an early
Yes.
age. Secondly, concerning the marijuana
Yes.
or hemp,
Yes.
some of persons are pushing to have that legalized.
No, you legalize it in Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, you legalize it in Canada.
And Suriname, I
Yeah, in
understand.
Suriname, yes.
Number of persons are pushing to
Yeah,
have that
yeah,
legalized
yes,
in our
yes.
country.
Guyana.
Now, they have their various point of views and
Yeah,
beliefs,
yeah.
but from an economic perspective,
Yes.
I am wondering whether it is not a case of the road to hell being paved with good intention. For me, I'm foreseeing a day when that becomes legal, when the very people who depend on it for spiritual reasons and medical reasons, they are going to find themselves in a spot whereby they will have to be finding money to purchase that, because if that should become legal, it is going to be like Christmas. It's going to be an economic engine.
Why is it Christmas?
She's
like?
confusing that with marijuana.
Okay.
Pardon
Hemp
me?
is not hemp is
Hemp,
not,
hemp,
hemp
hemp.
is not marijuana. You're confusing the two things. Seriously confusing it.
Yeah.
If you Google hemp, you will get a whole set of information where it shows that it has more than 1,000 benefits. It looks like marijuana, but it's not the
Well,
plant.
My point,
Yes,
my
yes.
point is that the people with
Yes,
money
yes.
are going to capitalize
Yes.
on that situation.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, that's where I agree with her.
Yeah, yes.
That is why I don't support the idea
Yes.
unless
Hello?
the farmers
Yes.
are intrinsically involved
Yeah.
in the process of
Yeah, yeah.
hemp. Or you got the same situation
Yeah,
like what
yes.
happens in the rice industry. where the millers are the
Yeah.
control
Hello?
of the rice industry, and the
Yeah,
farmers
yes.
have no,
Yes, sir.
Hello?
no say.
Hello? Yes, good afternoon, good afternoon.
Mr. Sharma,
Yes, yes,
looking at the hemp,
yes,
it's not a problem.
yes,
Anything that has connection to the
yeah,
people
yes,
have a
yeah,
problem.
yes,
Now, alcohol is a global controlled empire
yes,
by the fortunate
yes,
elite
yes.
who sell that drug and get you higher
yes,
than hemp.
yes,
Second,
yeah,
and
yes,
there's no restriction in it. The only thing I get is a breathalyzer test on the road.
yes,
And if a man got a piece of
Yeah,
marijuana
yes,
in his
yes.
hand, you want to like contain him on a cross.
Yes, yes, yes.
Totally wrong.
yes, yes.
That is my point, sir.
Okay.
I have another one. Could I put
Okay.
this in quickly?
Go make a fire.
Mr. Sharma,
Yes,
there are roads from Diamond Estate
yeah,
to the East Coast that
yes,
link it.
yes, that's right.
One of the flyovers, it costs $30 million.
Yes, yes,
One has been condemned
Yes.
by the Diamond Youth Team to go in there.
yes,
And there are 6 more.
yes, yes,
6 trees are it.
yes,
Do you know how much asphalt they could have gotten with that?
yes,
Asphalt the road from
yes,
Diamond, interlinking it to Providence, to Mocha, to East of Penitent, to
Yeah.
West Rhineville, to Georgetown, to East
Yeah,
Coast,
yeah,
and
yeah,
save
yeah.
that congestion there, 4-lane
Okay,
roadway.
yeah,
Yeah, because
Does
I
not
wrote
solve the
right at the
problem.
back there, yes.
One worker in a vehicle, they don't have one, they have like 4. Every 4 to 5 minutes, look at the economical loss by 10,000 or 2,000 people flying there. Georgetown,
Okay.
a day.
That's correct.
Having a GY loan from the IMF, those guys are conglomerates who have already know
Yeah.
the system of capitalism in the form of slaves,
yes, yes,
a slave mentality.
Yeah.
When they give you this money and they give you the money in the category that the road must be like this specified size. The size,
yeah,
will stifle the influx of the
Okay,
people. We have
okay.
83,000 square miles, and yet still the road is being designed minute. Mr. Patterson should
Yeah.
look at that.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Call you in here. We got on the run that time. Call you in here. Hello? Yes,
Good afternoon, Sharma, your finance.
yes,
That lady needs to study European people, and
Okay.
she'll understand why
Okay.
she doesn't have knowledge,
okay,
and why African people don't have knowledge.
Okay.
You have to study European people.
yeah, yeah, okay.
She doesn't know what she's talking about. Study European people. They have.
We don't have much time. We don't have much time. We're on the time.
They control
Yeah,
everything.
yes, yes, sir.
And then she'll understand why
Okay.
her people doesn't control.
Call
And
in
then
here.
she'll understand
Yeah.
if her leaders are
Yeah,
smart.
okay.
And then she'll understand who is smart
Okay.
and who is not.
Okay.
And why they didn't like Burnham, they didn't like Martin
Okay.
Luther King, they didn't like Farrakhan, they
Okay.
don't like
Okay.
Marcus Garvey, they don't
Okay.
like none of the intelligent
Okay.
black people.
Okay. We're on our time here now, all right?
Yes, you
We
are.
got to be one close to bottom. When you know, we learn that things we touch on. We talk about the being society,
Talk about crime,
Crime.
we talk about rice, we talk about
rice,
sugar,
sugar,
and we talk about
hospital.
education.
education. And we talk about the Joshua Hospital, where they can give proper medication to people. These are the things to talk about. So next week, this is a program, River Black. River Black, yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Closing remarks.
hurricane relief
Yes.
is still on the front burner. We still have got to do what we need to do to help our brothers and sisters in
Yeah.
the Caribbean.
How much money you send?
How much money I
Yeah,
send?
yeah, yeah.
I have not sent any money as yet, but
Okay.
I'm part of a group of people who are
Okay.
setting
Yeah,
up a
yeah,
fundraiser
yes.
to
Okay.
raise $30 million. Saturday, November 4th,
okay.
Durban Park
Okay.
is the Hurricane Relief Showcase. BK Mingles will be there,
Okay.
rising out of the ashes like a
Okay,
phoenix.
okay.
And we'll have a lot of Guyanese performers, and also some performers will be coming from Dominica,
Okay.
Rasmo, and a couple other performers. In fact, people should support any relief effort that goes to Dominica
Okay.
or wherever.
Thank
But
you,
you know,
Closing remark,
it's
closing
got to be
remark.
sanctioned by the CDC,
Okay.
Yeah.
the Civil Defense
Closing
Commission.
remarks.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
On
Yeah.
the same topic,
Yes, yes.
ordinary people can contribute.
Okay.
There are accounts at Republic
Yeah.
Bank and at TVTI and so on where
Yeah.
they can go and make their contribution
Okay.
quietly. They don't have to
Okay.
announce it. So I think this has been done all the while,
Okay.
besides
Yes.
the businesses. Now, we saw that the yesterday was the anniversary of the Cuban
Yes, that's right,
disaster,
yes.
and we still, people are still looking for justice. There's
Yeah.
still one man alive who was
Yeah.
I think who
Yeah.
was
What is it?
living in Miami. when the plane crashed with all those people.
The students and so on. Yeah.
Yes.
Were there 7 Guyanese who were in that plane?
Yeah, I remember there was a girl and a mother, a grandmother, and our niece who did that. But besides that, Dr. Roger Luncheon said in today's Starbucks that NIS did have an investment policy, but what kind of investment policy, right? Look what that Berbice Bridge. What are we get? What is the NIS getting from the Berbice Bridge? Clico, since collapse and NIS lost over $5 billion. So what kind of investment policy did Luncheon, who was there from the inception when the PPP came into power, he was the man who was the chairman of the board, and that is his success story.
He made a mess of it.
Let me try and give this sugar workers send out to the sugar workers, and this man who died.
Oh, Mr.
Neil.
Mr.
Neil saw
I understand he'll be cremated on
tomorrow.
On Monday.
Tell me how this man died.
I don't know. I'm trying to get some more information tomorrow.
That announcement is on this station.
Yes, do you have his number? Because I don't have his telephone number. I'll go down and visit the relative.
I don't know. I met this man for 1 hour.
Go and visit the
on the
relative.
phone, I met this man 1 hour.
Okay, I will call you when I go and visit them, and then I'll let you talk to his wife.
Okay.
Okay.
Closing remarks.
Let me use this forum to thank Mr. Joseph from the Water Guyana.
Yeah.
He has been doing a fantastic job. I tell you, through this program, Mr. Sharma.
He should get a national award.
He should get a national award, Mr. Joseph. No, seriously. Mr. Joseph, and one of the callers said, could we say what this government has done? But let me tell you, the government is ensuring, through Dr. Charles, Van West Charles, to ensure that everybody who hasn't got water in this country, drinking water or artesian water, that they get it. And Mr. Joseph has been doing a fantastic job. He and his team people. They've been to Parika Back Dam, and they didn't get water for 40 years. In some parts of Parika Back Dam, they've been to some other areas in Parika. And individuals who have called here, I ensure that Mr. Joseph gets hold of them. And Mr. Prince, if you're listening, I'm now saying to Mr. Sharma that you got your water when you called in, because you called me and you told me this. So this is a good project. Mr. Van West Charles must be complimented for taking the level of action. We need it in the GPL. And that is why I criticized Patterson, because he said that in the parliamentary recess that he himself will go and find out why we're having all these blackouts. But he hasn't done so because we're getting more blackouts. So, blackouts have increased. So, Mr. Patterson and his AFC colleagues.
And Mr. Badal is the chairman there too.
Mr. Yes. But you see, he gave in benefits. See, that's where the reward goes. When Mr. The business ministers say that they are not bribable, the ministers are not bribable. The man who is the chairman of GPL used to give his hotel during the election time, so he get a reward.
Robert Badal.
One wonders.
Don't call names.
It's a fact.
One wonders what are the benefits he gets. That needs to be investigated because we have not seen any drastic improvement in GPL. Drastic, I mean. And I think that we must bring an end to these blackouts.
So you're saying you need a new chairman?
No, I mean putting people. Look. We have to start to begin. We got some good views and opinion from people who call. Right.
Good views. That's right.
We get some media who call, but I mean, generally speaking, all callers who have called are intelligent people, decent people. They make their points. They don't get personal, and that's very important. We need to keep it like that, Mr. John.
Thank you very much. Sanki, thank you very much.
One love. Unite.
Thank you very much for being in the program. Have a nice day. God bless you. Thank you, everybody.